This is Jonathan Agger here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Sahni. We're here in Liverpool. That press conference for Billy Joe Saunders got the hype going. You know, that was exciting. What did you make of it?
It's good to be back. That's how they say it. Was that good? Did they say? Yeah, good to be back. Yeah, mate. Billy Joe Saunders. When was the last time Nick Bull's been sat at a press conference and the other fella hasn't been? He called him a dickhead. Can you believe that? He called him. He was up there calling him names. He's been saying stuff about he doesn't like, that Nick Bull's been saying he quit against Itauma. Doesn't like any of that. Who would like it? So he's brought it up. I brought it up. Had to bring it up. But yeah, look, it's good to have a fiery press conference. As you enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, and you don't often get those sorts of presses out of Nick Bull. 1-2 word answers. But do you know what? Main event, yeah, twice now. Headline in Liverpool. Talk your talk, and he talked his talk up there. Can't wait for this fight.
What about TJ? I mean, he's coming off the Itauma fight, and I said to him, were you considering a warm-up? And he was like, yeah, I thought about it, but I wanted to just go straight back in. What does that show you as, his mentality?
I would have loved it if he'd have said, this is my warm-up. But yeah, that would have been a good line. Look, big fan of it. I've met TJ Doheny for the first time today. There's an intensity about him. I said to him, beforehand, I was like, I try and stir it up a little bit, get things going. He was like, yeah, I know you do. I've been watching you. I was like, mate. Almost half shit myself, to be honest, mate. But yeah, very good, and he speaks very well. He speaks with a lot of almost anger. He's annoyed that people have been calling him a quitter, as you would be, and he wants to take it all out on Nick Bull on March 15th in front of Nick Bull's own people. I think he said at one point that Nick Bull would be on his back in this fight. Love that. Great talk, great presser, and I'm sure you can ask me about Cain Edwards as well. Is your arm all right? You've had to do a little.
Yeah, it just gets a bit tiring holding this all day. But yeah, Charlie Edwards, you had to step in to save the day with the face-off. I don't think you'll be getting in there March 15th. But Andrew Cain will. Talk to us about this fight.
Listen, rather Andrew Cain than me. I know. I don't think I can beat Charlie Edwards in a fight. I don't think I can beat many people in a fight, but Andrew Cain can, and Andrew Cain knocks people out. Brilliant fight. Every time Andrew Cain has a fight, I interview him afterwards and I say, what if that was Charlie Edwards in there? And he, of course, just says, I'd smash him to bits. So he's been saying that for the last couple of fights. Clearly, Charlie Edwards' ears have perked up, and he's thinking, all right, come and smash me to bits. British and Commonwealth titles on the line. It feels like there's going to be more added. It's a fight worthy of more titles, as much as they are brilliant titles. And it's a brilliant bantamweight fight. The styles mesh perfectly. You've got a guy in Andrew Cain who's largely known for enjoying going after people and knocking them out. And you've got a guy in Charlie Edwards, a seasoned former world champion, who doesn't really get knocked out, has found great form, just beat Thomas Asomba for the European title, and just believes he's a level above the Andrew Cains of this world. He wants to become a two-weight world champion. Well, if you want to take over the world, take over your own country first, because Andrew Cain is in your way, my friend. Can't wait for that fight. I can't believe it's happening.
March 15th here in Liverpool. Dev, didn't speak to you after the show Saturday, but Denzel Bentley beating Brad Paul's great fight. But what a performance from Denzel. What did you make of it?
He just jabbed his head off. It was fantastic. Brad Paul's definitely will come again. I think Brad Paul's is like he's European level. I think he more than held his own against Denzel Bentley. I just think Denzel Bentley rampaged away with it towards the end of the fight, scored the knockdown as well, and he is a world level middleweight, and he's ready for Janibek. He's 29 years old and he fancies it now, and he's earned the position. It's not like necessarily before where he got his world title shot sort of out the blue. Oh, do you fancy fighting him? He hasn't got an opponent. Oh yeah, go on, I'll do it. No, this is, let me build up a bit of a streak. Let me knock people out like Danny Dignam, knock people out like Derek Asazi, beat good champions like Brad Pauls. Let me earn my position. And he's done that, and he's ready to go. And I can't wait till he gets his hands on Janibek.
David Adeleye producing a stunning first-round knockout of Solomon Dakers. I did say to him, no one expected that, and he said, well, we expected that. But, obviously the board wasted no time in ordering him against Moses Itauma, who fights next week in Riyadh. What do you think of that fight, and do you want to see that next?
It's one of those where, the board will order fights all the time kind of thing, and that's a fantastic fight at some point. I haven't spoke to anyone about it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But yeah, both, Moses has got big problem in Dempsey McKean to deal with. He's got to come through that. Then I'm sure they're going to all have a look at their options and see what happens. But brilliant from David Adeleye. First round knockout, left hook from hell on top of the head, and Sol Dakers will be back as well. Like, he didn't put any miles on the clock in that fight. It's just like he probably could have just had a fight 20 minutes later. He'd have sort of been okay. But that's heavyweight boxing. Got caught with a shot that he couldn't see coming, and he got done in a round. Brilliant return from David Adeleye. 14 months out the ring. That's the way to do it. If you're going to come back, tell everyone that you're a problem in this division. These are the sort of statements that you've got to make. And I'm so intrigued to see what happens next with Big D.
This time next week, Fury and Usyk would have probably weighed in. Are you expecting a heavier Tyson Fury this time next week?
So he was, 262? I think he was 262 in the first fight. Against Deontay Wilder in the second and third fights, he was bigger. I just don't think size wins him this fight. I used to think it was, come in big, lean on him and all of that, the wrecking ball, all of that stuff. It's not actually size that wins him this fight. It's his boxing as the bigger man. So I'm not sure he'll be much heavier. His tactics could have won the first fight. If some had him winning the first fight. There were various points where he was clearly winning the first fight. So how much does he actually need to change? If you ask him, last time, he says, I don't need to do much, I just don't need to make sure I don't clown around and mess about. So I don't think he'll mess about. I think he'll be fitter. I expect the weight to be around the same, to be honest.
Fury has never lost again to someone he's only lost one fight, and he won the rematch. Sorry.
I was going to say,
I might take that bit out. He hasn't won the rematch yet, but he's only ever won his rematches. How much of a factor is that going in to next Saturday?
That he wins all of his fights apart from one against Usyk. Honestly, him having rematch wins over John McDermott, Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder, I don't think they play any part in this. It's a good thing to say, it's a good story, but just because he won those fights doesn't necessarily mean he's going to beat Usyk. He'll beat Usyk because he's going to outbox him. That for me is his route to victory, because at points in that first fight he was lighting up Usyk, and I've never seen Usyk look like that. Never. Even when Chisora was sticking it on him, put him under pressure and all of that, he was okay. Even when Joshua had him going in round 9, had him going, he didn't look like he did in those rounds against Fury, where it looked like Fury was pulling away. Usyk's such a great fighter, though, he pulled it back.
So when you look at this fight, when you envision it, do you see Fury winning by stoppage? Do you think he gets his hands raised on points?
I see myself not giving an answer until moments before the fight, just because I'll have to see them at some point before that. And I've learnt from previous experience, Jonathan, to not give predictions until very late, because fighters get upset with me.
I get that completely. So just last one, I'd like to have a look at what the world is saying about the fights, as you know, and Billy Joe Saunders is the latest person to come out with his prediction, and he feels Fury could actually make this easier if he switched on and not showboating. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's it. That's what Fury's been saying. Billy Joe knows Fury very well. Billy Joe, a great fighter in his own right, and he can see things with the fighter's eye in there. There were various moments in that fight where Tyson Fury was showboating, having too much fun, like as early as the first round. Everyone accepts that was the case. The question is, if he doesn't do that, Does he just win the fight? What does he do in those moments instead of showboating? Is he throwing punches? Is he trying to get a bit of a rest? Like, what can he do in those moments? So I would agree with Billy Joe. He's switched on, which you'd expect against Usyk. He can definitely get the job done. He nearly got it done the first time. It was only a split decision.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, March 15th here in Liverpool. Nick Ball, TJ Doheny, any final words on this fight and, you know, what you're expecting?
It's good to have Nick Ball in with someone who's calling him names and wants to take his head off. Love that. So I'm looking forward to that. And Andrew Cain against Charlie Edwards is just beautiful. I can't wait.
All right, Dev, appreciate your time. Thank you.